So I'm going to start on the side that nobody ever messes with when getting on a horse. I don't get on the horse in this direction. And but the problem is, and the reason I need to desensitize him real good on this side is because when I step up on the other side and I throw my leg over, that's when he kind of wants to freak out. Is if anything comes across this saddle, he kind of comes unglued. And so we've got to get him really good on this side, because this is the side that's going to be sitting there waiting for all that to come over. Once it comes over, we need him to still be good and maintain his composure and stay where he's at and not freak out and bolt and run off and buck. So we're going to make sure that we've got him good on both sides. We haven't done this in a few days because we've been working on obstacle course and trust. So since we've got the saddle back on, and we're going to just kind of 100% reintroduce it like we did in the beginning. Said sometimes when you got a trauma horse, it's a slow process. And sometimes it's not just a trauma horse. Sometimes you get a horse where it's a slow process, period. You might get that younger horse that's just real spooky and real skittish. It all kind of depends on what side of the brain they use. Or, where all they've been and what all they've been through. No one ever knows. Unless they've been born on the ranch. But a lot of these horses, haven't been. A lot of times people don't know where they came from. Gotten a lot in that, people picked them up from the sale barn and have no clue where all they'd been prior to that. This horse the owners had for a long time. We did deal with him when he was a baby and he was great. See, he's nervous about that jumping up. Even though we've built all this trust and he trusts me, he still gets nervous about certain motions and certain movements. No matter how much they trust you, things you do can still make them nervous. So, it's not all 100% about trust, but you're never going to get there without it. You've got to get them to trust you. Then you've got to get them desensitized to the motions. If I go at that horse fast like that, he should get to where he quits moving. See how he wants to try to keep me on that side, because he's more comfortable on that side. Now guys, this is the part of groundwork that is tiring. Now when I step up here, my goal is to kind of reach across and get the neck. And when we're getting comfortable there, then we'll go down further, get towards that stirrup. Last time I did this, as soon as I even got remotely close to touching his neck, he was bolting. So, you don't give him a lot of head. If I do that, and he's able to get his head turned that way, now his feet are turned towards me. So we make sure we get his head short so that if he does bolt, I can turn him and his feet are going the opposite direction. And it's not to be mean to the horse. That's why I'm doing a short like this. It's for my safety. Walk him up and do it again. He shouldn't be moving as I'm doing this. So we'll reposition him and we'll just start all over until he stands. It's a lot of repetitive work. It's consistency and repetitiveness is what gets the job done in the end. Now I'm not going to lean across yet. I'm going to let him get comfortable with that. He's not real comfortable with it. He's wanting to move. He stood pretty good there. So now what I'm going to try to do, same thing, but we're going to try to lean over a little bit and touch that neck. Oh. See, he's turning that head nervous as soon as he sees me lean that way. So we'll hop down. Go ahead and rub what we want to touch. Yeah, alright. Have to shorten that a little. He's wanting to turn too much. He's getting a glimpse of me out of that eye. And it's a very nervous one. There we go. Oh. Alright. They started to move. We'll get down. Position him and do it again. Once we have him standing real good on this side, where I can rub that neck, do it at the other side. Well, keep that head tight. Whoa. 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 Good boy. Getting nervous. Let me move away. Move him around so it's just not constant nagging to him. He wanted a bolt there, but he refrained. He held back and he stood good. So now let's turn him around. Let's start working on this side. Now, I don't know if you can see in the video, But anytime I'm on this side, he's so much more jumpy. And you can look in that eye and just see the nervousness. There's a lick and chew. Maybe a little bit of that nervousness starting to disappear. I ain't gonna hurt you, Cowboy. Good boy. Now I've always got to remember, so when I get to this side, it's your other leg you got to step up with. He ain't even good with it yet. We'll start with our knee. Let's get some pressure on there. You'll ever notice if you ever get up on one side and never the other side, you're a lot more limber on that side. You would think, my bad knee's the other one, you would think that it would be easier this way, but it's not. It's like trying to write with your other hand. Cool. So, always trying to keep them calm when you're doing this kind of stuff. If they start to get excited, just take a little time, help them calm back down, rub on them, pat on them, talk to them, move them around a little. To see more, y'all go to the next video. There'll be a part 2.